Hi everyone, I'm Baz. This is iSharpen, and today I am sharpening a ceramic knife. Look at that chip. It's pure ceramic. You can see my finger behind there, maybe. If not, I'll shine it up to the light in a minute. Made by Coarse out of zirconia, I believe. And I have already tried on the sanding belt, and it seems to take some of it off. Plus, it displays a spectacular phenomena that you're not going to want to miss. So, I'm going to use my microscope. We're going to use all the tricks today, because if I can pull this off, I think it's a breakthrough for me anyway, and maybe for you as well. So let's have a go and see how we're going to do it. So I'm going to start off by reshaping the knife to this new shape. I'm then going to grind it on the SG250 standard wheel. I'm going to go through the progression just like a normal knife, 80 to roughen out the edge, then 320 to smooth it out, and I'm going to finish on the SJ250 4000 grit Japanese wheel to really refine that edge, and we're going to see what sort of a result we get. So what do you think my chances are? Before we go too much further, this video is brought to you by the Baz knife. I still have some available. They're very sharp. Link is in the description as to how you can contact me and get the details of how to purchase. So let's go over to the sanding machine, and I'm going to show you something pretty spectacular. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you something, how these are translucent. Watch this. So this is my studio light. Oh, there's Chili. Hello, Chili. All right. Look at this. See that? Translucent. That's how you can tell you've got an actual ceramic knife and not just one that's painted white. So let's head over to the sanding machine. This is the coarsest grade of just a plain aluminium oxide belt. It's about 80 grit, and I'm going to start off on this, see how it comes out. Then I might go to the finer belts if I find that it hasn't given me a nice enough finish. But I think that, well, I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to go this far. I have come to an agreement with the owner that if I smash the knife or ruin it somehow, we're going 50-50 in a new knife, which is about 160 bucks, I think, or 100 and something anyway. So it's not too much of a risk for me. Plus, I think it's going to be a very interesting exercise. Hopefully you get as much out of it as I do. So let's crank it up and see what happens. Lightly. Can you see that? Did you see that? Let me turn the lights off and show you again. Sparks. Why are there sparks? I have a couple of theories. This could just be a normal phenomenon of zirconia being abraded. It might give sparks. But I went to the Kyocera YouTube channel, and it shows how they make it, and they tell you that these are obviously a terrorist risk. You can pass them through airports without being detected by the metal detectors. So what they've done is they've actually included metal in the knife somehow so that it can be detected. Is that what's sparking, or is this a phenomena of the ceramic? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? That feels hot. Now, where there's heat, there is movement. So I think I should be cooling this just to be on the safe side, although I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to call it just to be on the safe side. It's definitely rounding off. It's definitely taking material off. Don't know what it's doing to my belt. There seems to be a few lines there, but even if it destroys the belt, it's still worth it just for the experiment. Continue. Well, that was a success. Stage one. Now, I didn't go all the way to the end of the because I thought, look, let's not push it. And that's a great shape, isn't it? You tell me. So that should come off with a bit of IPA, just like normal, I hope. Okay, so this is the new shape. Looks perfectly good. I think it's actually what the original shape was. So you can see that that's given it a nice finish. That's amazing. Did not expect to get this far. Now have a look at these chips. All right. See them? They're everywhere. We'll have a look at them on the microscope in a minute, just so we can do a definite before and after. You can see the chips, quite bad there, everywhere. So you can see the chips, quite stark. Chipping like obsidian. Right on the top there as well. Okay. And right on the end. But you can see that that grinding came to a beautiful tip. Lovely. And there's obviously a bevel on there as well. Definitely a bevel. So let's move over to the grinding phase. Speaking of the Baz knife, this is the Baz knife. It's got a rosewood handle made of VG10, quite stiff, Damascus layers over the top, beautiful design, comes in a sheath and unlimited lifetime sharpening. So get one in you. Email me for price and details. These are only sold to you, viewers, subscribers and customers. I'm not putting them online anywhere. So they're a little bit exclusive. I'm not sure how collectible they are, but people who are buying them are really loving them. So get one in you. Everything, every one of them is guaranteed under 99. Best. Right, that's the end of that. Now, what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to put a black marker on there so that I can guess the angle again. But we know we can take that off, so let me scratch that on there. Okay. The wheel is relatively flat, so we don't have to worry about that. Pop her in the clamp. A little bit tip heavy, so we need to drop that down. Still tip heavy. And we'll measure the angle in a minute, see what it was from the factory. Still tip heavy. That sounds a bit better. There you go. So that's close enough. You can see the chips there as well. Oh, this is interesting. Now, make sure I've got plenty of water. Now there's no burr on this, so I won't be using the leather wheel with the chrome oxide. I won't be using the kangaroo strop. I'm just going to go from this straight, as soon as I've got it straight enough on the microscope, over to the Japanese, and that's what I did last time and it seemed to work. So, now what I can't specifically remember is whether I did the last ceramic knife on the 80 or the 320, but we'll do the 80 because we're scientists, right? Well, we play scientists on the internet. All right, straight into it. Just pressing like a normal knife. I'll bring it over for you to watch on the first stroke. Let me wipe the water off. So that was the first stroke. Definitely takes the marker off anyway. So let's keep going until we get a nice broad bevel. Oh, what I didn't do is paper tests, but trust me, it won't cut anything. Might do one now before it gets too late while we've still got some chips on there. Nothing. Oh, a little bit. Okay. Not really doing anything there. There's some sharp bits, but we can expect that, you know. Let me do a few more passes on this side, then I'll turn it over. Working fantastically. That's certainly grinding away. Notice I'm using the old clamp. Oh, check this out. Something arrived. Brand new old SVM 45. Gold, rare. You can't get them anywhere. Not one, but two. Brand new SVM 45s. I am happier than a happy thing. Check it out. Oh, pristine. Oh, yeah. Oh. Love them. It's the thumb cup. This is where they screwed up. They didn't give us the thumb cup, so I can't clamp it from the back with my thumb. I don't know why. We might have to make some mods, see if we can get this onto the new KJ jig, because the KJ jig does center better. Not that it was a problem, but yeah, brand new. And check this out. In another place, I found spare parts to fix my old one that has a stripped hole in here, if you remember from the other videos. 2 inserts, 2 new knobs. That's the part numbers, by the way, if you want to get them for yourself. I got these from Tormek in Australia. Lovely jubbly. Now, let's see how we're going here. Not quite hitting that apex yet, so I might have got the angle a little bit wrong, but that's pretty close. So I'm going to keep going until I've cleared all that black marker off the apex. How does this feel? Still rough, which is interesting. I might have to go a bit slower, make sure I get that tip. Shout out to the lads on the Tormek forum who are intrigued by this. Okay, couple more. Still feels rough. Might roughen it up a bit more. I keep getting asked about these, so I'm going to tell you again. I know a lot of you already know, but there might be some new people watching this, especially because this ceramic knife is an interesting topic. These are diamond sharpening plates. I buy them off eBay Australia. I get the ones with the black foam on the back. I get 80 grit. 80 grit, according to Dr. Vadim from Knife Grinders Australia, who discovered this, 80 grit turns the wheel into roughly about 250 grit, so 3 times the number. And then I finish the knives on 320, which takes them to 960, which is a little bit shy of the 1000 that the stone produces. And I think gives it a beautiful tooth on stainless anyway, so seems to be working on the ceramic as well. Oh, we forgot to measure the angle. I'll do that now. Although it does seem to have a primary bevel as well. I'll measure off the face. Let's have a look. What is this? It looks quite acute. So I've got this set to, well, loose. Ooh, interesting. Look at that. A 12 or 13. That 13 or 12? Oops. 12. So that's super, super acute. Super acute. Interesting. Give it a couple more. Not quite hitting that apex yet, which means that I'm probably more acute than it was originally. It was probably a 15, I'm guessing. But why not make it into a 12? See if it will last without getting chipped. Okay, so that was about, what, dozen passes? So if this is going to chip, it's going to definitely chip at 12 degrees. We might, if we can't get it to a decent edge, then we might have to reduce the angle a bit, or increase the angle a bit, make it more obtuse. So those sparks were interesting, weren't they? Where is that coming from? That is smoothing the wheel out a bit there now. So let's rough it up. I'm sweating into my glasses. Pressure. Waiting for it to chip or crack or do something. I am missing that apex, which means that I probably am too acute for this. Should have really focused on getting it to the apex, but we'll continue along this and see if we can turn it into a world's sharpest ceramic knife. And yes, I'm going to do some best testing when we're finished, because I'm as curious as you are. I'm pressing down a fair bit. I'm leaving all this in because if it suddenly starts chipping or doing anything weird or smashes or cracks, I want to capture it. Okay. Well, I'm definitely grinding away. I'm not hitting that apex, which means I've probably leaned it over a little bit too much. So I'm going to raise it up a bit. Half, 1. See if we can't clear that apex. Not ideal, but here's what it is. You could say that I've sort of thinned it out a little bit, maybe. In its little Tormek way. Yeah, I can definitely see that third bevel now. Maybe if I keep grinding it'll become a secondary. So the first big one here, that's the primary, then the secondary is the second one, and so I'm on the third one, tertiary at the moment, but here's what it is. Still not hitting that apex. Unless I'm creating new cracks, which I don't think so. Or chips, I mean. Could also be that the wheel is smoothed out. And there's no longer cutting. Yes, it does feel smoother. I'm still not getting that apex. However, continue. So just go onto eBay Australia, so it's ebay.com.au, and search for diamond sharpening plates, and you'll find them. Get the 320, lots of 320s. So I would say a 3-to-1 ratio, 180 and 320s, because the 320s wear out quickly, whereas the 80s seem to last forever. And by wear out, I mean, see the rusty bits? That's where I've worn through. So all the rest of this is still good. Pretty nervous here. Okay, well the black's all gone. So now I'm working on that bevel, trying to make a new apex. I've got the reflections here working in my favour. You know what I might do? Might go even rougher. When you use the Tormek stone, especially on the edges, really gets in there. It's very rough now. Now the thing is, are these new chips or are they the existing chips? Don't know. They might be new. We'll head over to the microscope in a minute and see what's going on. It was very chipped before, as you could see. Okay, well those two bevels seem to have moulded into one. I might have to come up even more. I'm going to do that. To come up another hole. Let's go another 2 see if we can't get rid of those chips. Okay, so still got some chips, but I just want you to have a quick look. So we'll just try and get the focus there. You can see that there's some there, but I think there's also some smoothing. There's some at the back. Oh yeah, and you can see that those two bevels as well. So let's see if we can see that. Try and capture the reflection. There you go. See? See the primary there, the secondary there. Well, that's actually the primary there, then the third, the second, and now the third. So let's just keep going. I'm tempted to raise it up even more to make sure that I'm getting onto that chip surface, but I'll resist. And persist. Certainly feels pretty sharp. Couple of more passes. Try and roughen this up a bit more. Right, they're definitely disappearing. Just try and work that heel a bit. I'm coming backwards now. Minimizing. Those chips are definitely being worn away. Just needs time. I'm charging a little bit extra for this one. Thank you, Miss Customer. Okay. We are definitely getting somewhere now. Oh, look. You tell me we're not making some sort of progress. Try to get that to focus. A few little chips right at the back there, still remaining. But we still get reduction, which is great news. Maybe the lesson is to stay on the grit. We'll do a paper slice test in a minute. See what sort of progress we're making. You never do backwards and forwards, but I'm doing it. Drawing it backwards and finishing at the tip is how you get flat tips or faceted tips. No good. Keep it rough. I'm pressing quite hard. Okay. Those chips are largely gone. And it seems to have taken that new bevel, so we've got a full bevel again. And I'm just going to give it a couple of more passes, then I'll show you. This is a marathon movie, but it has to be because we're doing science. Thanks for continuing to watch. Feel free to fast forward to the end if you want to see what the results are going to be. But if you want to support the channel, hang around. I definitely wouldn't have got this far if I tried going straight to the smooth. The Japanese, for example, out of fear that this was going to chip the blade, it's definitely not doing that. It's wearing away nicely, just the way we want it to. We're giving it plenty of time on the wheel. Now you tell me, have those chips gone? It's hard to focus. They're all gone, mate. They're all gone. Let's have a look how it performs on the paper. Better. Still rough. I can hear the rough. Better. Alright, let's come over to the microscope and have a quick look. Try and get there without removing the clamp. Okay, so we can still see lots of chips, but they're new. Alright, so this is the new chips that I've put in. Now, just try and get that focused. Okay, so that's interesting. Now we're going to try and remove those. That's why it felt a bit noisy on the paper. Okay, let's try and smooth those out. All right. Where do you think I'll go? Am I going to get chip after chip, or are we going to get rid of them? Okay, I'm going to use the stone because that smooths out more than the 320. Finally, the microscope is coming into use. That feels very, very smooth now. Alright, let's have a look. I might put a marker on there, just so we can see what we're doing. So I can feel the marker grabbing those chips. But I'm confident. I think we're going to remove or minimize those chips a lot. Also with the marker we're going to see what sort of a bevel we're putting on there. I'll bring you in a bit. Certainly looks smoother. But those big chips are definitely gone. That microscopic view that we just saw was pretty horrific, wasn't it? I did not expect that. That's the chipping that everyone refers to when they try and do this, I suppose. Alex over at Outdoors 55 said impossible. Well, not impossible, but Very difficult. I don't want to misquote him, but he definitely made the point that we've got our work cut out for us on this. Get out of it. Now, I don't know how many passes I need to be doing or anything like that. I'm just being thorough. And for those of you who like ASMR, the joy of sounds, this will be a great video to put on in the background. Somebody said to me, make more videos, I miss the grinding sound. Hello to George. Do a couple of more on each side, and then we'll stop and measure and go and have a look at the microscope. Feels pretty sharp. Feels very sharp. Make sure I get that tip. Last one. Let's have a look. I can feel the chips still, but it's pretty sharp. Without down the grain. Not bad. Now at this point, I would say that if I gave this back to the customer, she would have a much sharper knife. See, most of those chips are gone. Oh, what are they? Are they little chips coming off of my finger? No, maybe. Well, the major chips are gone, that's for sure. Oh, is that a biggie there? Hard to tell. Let's have a look on the microscope. Okay, well, they're still there. Definitely still there. But they're smaller, I think. All right, let's move on to the Japanese stone. I'm just going to use the same water. I'll clean it up. It's getting a bit small. Uh, 2000 grit. Wet and dry. Now when I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I'm right up on that apex, because I haven't got time to work on the bevels with this one. It will take too long. So I'm going to give it a pretty high apex run. So, I didn't have to take it off. Remark it. How do you think I'm going to go? I can definitely still feel those chips. But with those chips, it might make a fantastic tomato knife. Lemons into lemonade. Okay. Now that's already quite high because it's a smaller wheel. Can't see it. Oh yeah. I'm right up on that apex. Should I go more? Or should I just work just the apex? Where is it? You can barely even see it. Right there. Let's lower it down just a little bit more. Yep. Let's see how we go. couple more. I'm going as slow as possible in order to give it as much of a chance as I can to smooth itself out. Now, I don't know how many I should be doing. I'm just going overboard for the sake of making sure that it can at least have a chance to do its best work, if it's going to work at all. I am driven by the results of the previous ceramic knife that I did that seemed to produce a pretty clean edge. So hopefully this 4000 grit may have finally found its purpose. Although the edges are still good for ceramic knives, for serrated knives. Last pass. Now, whether or not it's worth all this effort, I think that that we have a higher purpose in this video, and that is to see whether it's even possible before we start trying to maximize our effort. Oh, it feels so sharp. Let's have a look. Oh. With the grain. That is definitely better. Definitely better. But is it free of chips though? That's the thing. Okay, let's come over here and have a look. Well, that looks much cleaner. Doesn't it? How clean is that? That's almost perfect, except for there's chips, still chips. One there, one there. Oh, what's that? Bit of dirt. Oh. Small little chips. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to give it 10 more passes on each side. Cut little, just focus again. But that looks not bad. A couple of little small chips there. Wow. I wish I could go in closer. Another one there. But that's way better than the SG stone. Way better. That would explain why it sliced that paper so well. Huh. That's fascinating. All right. Isn't that interesting? This is the secret. So rough it out on the SG, but this thing here it seems to marry very well with the ceramic. Why? What's this made of? I don't know. Let's give it another smoothing. Or cleaning. Okay, 10 more. The reason I'm saying 10 is just that I want it so clean. I want this to be as good as it can be. That's 2. I can definitely hear things. I can hear the wheel working. Now 3 and 4. Pressing quite hard. So I'm doing 10 because we got such great results there. Didn't we? I was shocked. I do remember that clean edge from the last knife, but that was amazing. How it took out all those chips. Okay, that's 3 and 4. 5 and 6. Oh, 5. So once I finish this 10, I'm going to clean it. And I'm going to try a cigarette paper test. And then over to the best machine. And we're done. I mean, it is taking a while. I'm not sure how commercially successful this method is, but it's definitely possible. You may want to charge 40 or 50 bucks for a repair. And then again, I did have a lot of grinding to fix that chip, but if it's just an edge that's got chipped and broken, could certainly do it. And of course, now I'm curious to see what would happen if we just gave it a few quick passes and then straight onto the Japanese. 7 and 8. We've definitely proven that it can be done anyway. So that's that myth busted. Well and truly. Do you agree? Have we proven that we can definitely sharpen a ceramic knife on a Tormek? And probably on standard hand plates as well. You just have to go up to the higher grits. We'll get those chips off, most of them, reduce them down to that crackly chipped finish, and then straight onto the high grits, and it will come up nice. Now if we still see a few little chips, we're not going to worry about it. That is so sharp, feels like a scalpel. Extra. So that's 9. That last microscopic session was shocking, man. I still can't get over it. There's such a difference. Now I'm curious what would have happened if we just started on the Japanese. Last pass. Maybe a quickie one on each side, and then we're done. Wow, that was a marathon. What do you think of that? That works. Let's test it. Sharper than the sharpest thing on the top shelf at the sharp shop. Push through the grain. That is amazing. Worth staying up for. Now, the ultimate test. Let's see if we can do this. Absolutely. Over to the microscope. Put it right up against the plastic. That is clean. Look at that. Any major chips? There's a couple there. Alright, but we'll forgive them. Anything else? Look at that. That is amazing. I mean, I'm shocked. I don't know about you. That's a bit dirty, but that's cool. Oh, little guy there. But generally, that is cleaner than a clean thing. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, time for some best. $139. $146. $143. That's not too bad. Let's see how it slices. I was expecting a lower score, but you know, 140s, 150s, that's acceptable. Let's see how it slices. Not too bad. Certainly not behaving like a chipped thing. Let's have a look. Nice. Let's try some yellow pages. Seems fantastic. Well, I think that is a screaming success. Would you agree? It was a marathon. Thanks for hanging around. But I really like that. Really like that. That is a fantastic result. And it feels deadly sharp. So, we've proven that you can grind ceramic, no problems, with just a normal belt. Doesn't even have to be anything special. We can sharpen. on the SG250 on the rough, but it chips it a bit. Then we can smooth the SG and it still chips, but the chips are getting smaller. And then once you put it onto the Japanese, it's beautiful. Really, really nice result. So I'm very happy with that. And I don't know if we've busted any myths tonight, but I'm calling that a fantastic result. Great shape, ready for use. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in a Baz knife, check the email address down below. Just send me an email. Tell me what country you're in so I can work out the shipping, and I'll give you a good price. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. That's amazing. Try that again. Whoa. That is slippery. That's behaving much sharper than a 140. But the best don't lie. Great job. Great job. See ya.